Let's go. You're my tamer.
You said what?
You're the tamer. Did you know?
Nah, I feel like you want. You know what I mean? 2, 1. Welcome back to the PDP. It's your host, Pouch Prince, and I'm here with a very special guest. Let's give it up for Omnimon.
Hello, hello.
How you feeling, man?
Doing great, you know, being a mega level DNA evolution Digimon. You know, when I arrive on the scene, you know it's all going to be good.
I'm glad you're here, man.
The day is saved.
Nah, but for real, let's show the people who you are.
All right.
Whoa, surprise, surprise. It's Keti. Yeah.
How's it going, everyone? Here with the Proud and Disappointment podcast. Halloween episode, I feel.
Yes. This is the Halloween episode. Hopefully I dropped it before Halloween.
Full get up here.
For the people that don't know, Kevin is he also is a host of his own podcast, but he's on YouTube.
I have a YouTube channel under the title Geek Night 90. I also have my Instagram page where I do like photography, also Geek Night 90. You can also follow us on my brand new podcast. I guess it's my second podcast that I've started again. I used to have one. I used to only upload the episodes on YouTube. It was called the Questcast. I have a few episodes there, but now I have a full, I guess, improved podcast called the Diversions podcast.
Nice.
You can find us on Spotify right now. Pretty soon, hopefully, we'll be on Apple Podcast.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah,
for sure. But for the people that don't know, can you let them know where you're from, where your parents from?
I was born and raised here in Chicago. According to my parents, I actually almost wasn't born here. I was actually almost born in El Salvador. That's where my family's from. We're from El Salvador. My mom came here with documents that she actually crossed over as a refugee during the Civil War in El Salvador.
Nice. Yeah, I was going to ask you, like, how was that immigration process?
For her, I mean, I guess it was pretty easy for her because she was able to give him like refugee status. My dad was not that fortunate, so he came in here a year later, undocumented. Mm-hmm. But the thing that sucked is when he got here, he had to go get my mom over in Maryland, which I call like the second El Salvador because it's like the second highest population of Salvadorians besides El Salvador.
Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I know why they go over there because like I guess when I go to El Salvador, my parents, despite them like living like in a mountain village, they were pretty nearby the ocean. They were like on the coast basically, and it would just be like a bus ride over just to get to the ocean. It was called La Espina, where we went to all the time. The village my parents are from was called El Almendro, or where my mom is from. My dad's from a different village.
Nice, and then you go back every now and then?
Actually, it's been a while since I've gone back. I want to say the last time I went was 2013 for my god brother's wedding. After that, a bunch of my family actually moved over here to the Americas, so it was kind of like not much of a reason for us to go over there anymore as we used to. Because before we used to spend like months, like probably my whole summer vacation over there back in the day, just to visit my grandparents and my aunts and cousins and everything. But now like I think all but like 3, not even 3, maybe like 5 of my cousins like don't live here. They're still over there because you know they have a family over there, so it's like different. I don't know if they'll ever come over here, but that's pretty much how it is. But during the times we were over there in the summer, it was pretty good. And like I got introduced into a lot of like anime and like cartoons that like I never would have watched, but I had to watch over there because there was nothing else.
I was gonna ask like, what is there to do over there that's fun? I know you play a lot of soccer, so I imagine. Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of soccer playing over there. That's popular things. Another thing is that El Salvador, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but it's like surfer capital city of the world.
What? That's crazy.
So if you're really into surfing, that is the place to go because they have like, I guess, the best waves, the best beaches and everything. That's where they hold like the world championships for surfing and everything.
Have you ever tried?
I have tried. Not that really good, but I've at least lasted more than at least 5 seconds.
Yeah. I've always like been intrigued with like surfing, but I never gave it a shot. I don't know. Maybe I should try.
And I think I was more inclined to try it more after I saw the movie Johnny Tsunami. So
yeah, I've been thinking about surf stuff, but Johnny Tsunami was sick. And then you also have a little brother.
Yeah, I do have a little brother.
For the people that don't know, this is Filthy Rich's older brother.
Yeah.
So Filthy Rich is a anime artist here in Chicago, very world renowned. He's got work in Japan, and I wanted to ask, like, I didn't get to ask you this on user friendly, but how do you feel about your brother? Because I feel like you treat him like everybody else, but I look at Rich like one of the best, you know.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he would love to hear that with his big head. But no, obviously, I'm super proud of him. I've always supported him and like made sure that he could achieve the success that he had today. I wouldn't say
you say like, you're responsible for his success.
I wouldn't say I'm responsible, because you know it's like I can't take away anything that he's done. It's all his own work and everything. But I feel like I did have a part by like I guess supporting him, making sure like he had the supplies. I remember he wanted to buy like an iPad, and he's like, I don't have any money right now. He's like, can you like spot me and then I'll pay you back? And I'm like, sure, I got you. Like no problem at all.
Yeah.
Like when it came to like I guess for any equipment like colored pencils or pencils to be like, can I borrow this? And I'm like, I got you. Don't worry about it. I was like, just keep going.
Mm-hmm. That's so interesting to me because I'm an only kid, so I can't imagine like having a little brother. How is it like growing up? Like you guys fought a lot?
There were times I think we got along mostly.
Yeah.
Because we had the same interests and everything, but there were times like we did fight. It wasn't really more of a fight. It's more just we just like talk shit to each other and argue.
I always hear stories about like actual fist fights with siblings, and I'm like, damn. I never experienced that, but
I don't know. I don't think it ever got to that. I mean, maybe one time, but that was because we were both in our martial arts classes, and like our master chose us to like not to fight each other, and I basically I showed no mercy.
Damn. So for the people that don't know, Kevin is a black belt, right?
Yeah, in Taekwondo.
That's crazy. That takes a lot of dedication. I know it's not easy. But I feel like you've always you're like a hard worker and like you've always been focused. But I've heard, well, just today actually I found out that you it took you 10 years to graduate.
Yeah, it took me 10 years to graduate from college. Funny enough, when I first went to college, I had a full ride, scholarship, everything paid from UIC basically.
For what, coding or?
Basically like general studies. It was just like I guess my good grades and like GPA and everything, and like test scores were just like, we're gonna offer you a full scholarship. I'm like, cool, you know. And I took it because I'm like full ride. My parents don't have to worry as much about money. Like we'll probably take out the minimum loans if needed, no problem. The only thing that I didn't know is that since I accepted that offer, I couldn't look at other colleges, and so I was like locked into going to UIC basically. And I feel like that's where I actually made a mistake because I realized like halfway through that experience, I was like, this isn't the college for me.
You would have chosen a different one.
Yeah, and I feel like if I went to a different college, one that I found more suitable for myself, it probably would have been a different story. But, you know, you live and you learn. I dropped out basically because also it was like the first time in my life I ever had like that much freedom away from my parents.
Yeah.
Growing up, I was more restricted of like where to go hang out with, who I get to hang out with, and what friends I get to go to. I guess a lot of people also don't know this. I basically grew up like a bubble boy. Because I had like a very severe case of asthma to the point like I had to have like a machine breathe for me basically.
Yeah.
And I wasn't allowed to go outside, especially during the winter. I was just like always bundled up, making sure like no cold air got into my lungs, because if it did, it would fuck me up.
How are you feeling now?
Now basically the doctor told my mom, I was like, if I don't get over it after the age of 5, then I'll be fine. But if I don't, that's gonna be how I am for the rest of my life. But thankfully, I did get over it, and yeah, I mean, yeah, it's healthy. And like also I think that also set my mindset where I'm just like, I don't want to say like a fighter, but I was just like, you know what, it's like just I'm gonna do it just because people think I can't do it. Like,
yeah, I love that. But I mean, being the oldest, you probably had it the hardest, right? Or is it you don't have any older siblings, do you?
No, I don't have any other older siblings.
Like your parents were more strict on you for sure.
Yeah, at times they were more strict on me.
And then plus that, I'm sure you had a hard time. With my parents, I felt like they were super strict and they wanted me to follow their specific route to success. Did you find that to be the case with you?
Yeah, I feel like that's the other thing. When I went to college, I realized I was going to fulfill someone else's dreams and not mine. And then it's just because, you know, I wanted to pay back to my parents, be like all the sacrifices they did and everything.
Sorry,
it's like, yeah, shoulder pads are hitting. And yeah, and it's like, it was pretty strict. They were pretty strict on me. Like I couldn't go to like I didn't have the much freedom that my brother and sister have now, because like my brother was able to go to all his friends' house. He was able to bring friends over to the house and everything, and like I never got to experience that. So like having solid friendships like that growing up is something that I didn't really get to experience until I was in high school, basically.
Yeah, but now I feel like you and Rich have the same friend group almost. Like you guys could all get along with.
Yeah, pretty much, because like his friends became the only friends I knew with, because they were always at my house. They basically like became an extended family to a point.
That's dope. I love like the relationship that you guys have with your friend group. Every time I go to your house, everyone's like, yeah, it's like family. It feels like, the same characters like Ariel and like,
oh yeah,
like, that's your cousin, but like,
yeah, they're my cousins, but I consider them more like my siblings, I guess you could say, like siblings, and I guess also like my kids, because I did like have a hand in like helping them grow up and everything, and like trying to set an example of like how to be and like what to do in certain situations. I mean, obviously they took what they learned from me, but they're also their own persons and everything.
So how exactly did it take you 10 years to so you had dropped out and then you just got to work? Or
yeah, I dropped out. I started working part-time at the job. My first job, actually. Whole Foods was my first job, and it's a place I worked at for like 14 years.
Crazy.
Yeah, and I basically I bounced everywhere. Like I basically worked every single department, and then to the point where I got into like administration and like IT work and everything. And that's what I was doing. And then eventually I was just like, I don't know what I'm going to do. So then I started going to like community college part-time, just taking classes here or there, just so like I wouldn't like not get used to not being in school. But then after a while, I just started working full-time at Whole Foods for like the longest time. And basically what sparked me to like finish my degree faster, because I didn't have that much credits to like finish. I just needed like maybe like a couple courses here or there, is that it was after the pandemic, like I guess a year after the pandemic like happened, and it was time for my raise. And I made a case telling people, it's like, okay, I want a $2 raise, basically. I'm like, there's people who started here after me who make just like $1 less than me, and like that's kind of BS.
Yeah.
Especially because I had like essentially like 3 different job titles. I was in charge of like the IT work and making sure all the equipment was working. I was also like I guess they call it like the marketing specialist, where like where you put up all the designs and change all the stuff and make sure it's all correctly priced and advertised. And then I was also like, sometimes I would be in charge of like logistics, making sure all the shipments that came in, we got what we needed and all that stuff. So I asked for $2 raise. They didn't give it to me. What they did offer me was just a 25-cent raise, and I was just like, this is bullshit.
You felt like super underappreciated.
Yes, super underappreciated. And I remember that day, and then they were telling me, it's like, if you want to fight it, you can like talk to yourself. And I'm like, you know what? No, I was like, I'll sign it. I'll take the raise. And after that, I went home. I looked at my like bank accounts. I was like, okay, I have this much. And then I looked at like boot camps that I can go to finish off my degree, basically. And I was like, okay, this is the one I'm going to go to. And then I'll do the 6 months like boot camp and finish it off. And then I'll start looking for a new job. And that's basically what I did. I used my savings. I paid for my school. My parents helped me out a little bit here and there.
What was the degree that you were going for?
Basically finishing off my computer science degree.
Nice. And then do you feel like you're using that degree now?
Oh, yeah. I have a new job now where I'm like a network engineer.
Nice.
Also, like I'm trying to move over into software development to become a junior software engineer.
And there's no way that you would have got that job without the degree?
No, I mean, I probably could have, but I would have to start at a beginner level at the company I am, because they do take people who don't have the degree and they'll teach them, but at a much more entry level. But because of my degree, I was able to enter at a much higher level. Nice. Where I can like jump across, and like it's really cool because I get to learn a lot from here and there, from all the different like systems that they use. And basically, I don't know, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to stay there forever, because I know I can earn more somewhere else, and that's the one good thing about it. Yeah. It's like now I have the degree, and now I have like all these certificates that my job is paying for currently that I can like put in my resume, and like.
That's what I've been noticing. Like with anything in life, like the more leverage you have, the more you could ask for. And it's like, yeah, that degree gave you more. Like, yeah, leverage is the word that I keep like circling back on. Like, you could go to jobs and be like, all right, I got all this, and that only came from experience and stuff. But so aside from your main job, your full-time job, you take pictures of figures, right?
Yeah, that's like a hobby.
That's how I found out about you, kind of like. Yeah. That's how you I guess contribute to the creative
Yeah, I guess like photography
Well-
definitely runs in my family because my dad's also a photographer.
Yeah.
He's a great photographer, actually. I always tell him he should submit his stuff to National Geographic and everything.
Does he have his pieces in your house and stuff?
He doesn't have any pieces. He keeps it all on his camera. He has like a digital like book and everything.
Nice.
And I've been meaning to actually make like a physical book of all his pictures and everything, just so like people could see his work.
Mm.
And
Next time I see your dad, I'm asking him to let me see his collection.
no, yeah, I mean, that dude is amazing. Like he was doing like graphic effects on photos of people back before Photoshop back in the 90s.
Sick.
Like I don't know how he did it, but somehow he was able to develop the film like that, basically.
Man, and I'm sure that like translated to you and like Rich. Just it's in your blood.
Yeah, I mean the dude also not just a photographer. The man can paint. That guy has painted.
Paint?
Yeah,
Damn.
I'm sure you've seen it at our house. There's like one that's like it looks like a church building, and there's like water and everything, flowers.
Yeah, I just imagined that was just something that you bought like at a.
No, he painted that one.
That's crazy. Wow. Shout out your dad.
No, yeah, like a lot of stuff translated into us. Like, I mean, I guess out of my parents, my dad's the one who probably had the most influence on us because he would like take me to soccer practice. He would give me advice during the games, after the games. So
Do you think like if you were to pursue photography full time, would he support you? Or,
I think he would support it.
Yeah.
I feel like as long as I have like something to fall back on, he'd be like, whatever.
But you need to have that fallback.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole, I guess, theme of this podcast. Like, I want to be able to prove the people that doubt you wrong and, like, not really care about. Well, first off, let me ask you, like, if you could tell me something that you're proud of and something you're disappointed in. You kind of already, I guess, talked about how you dropped out.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're disappointed in that. But it also...
I guess I wouldn't say I'm
Maybe you are.
disappointed because like I guess I wouldn't be the person I am today if it wasn't for all those like faults and like
Yeah.
it's the journey that I took basically. But I am proud of it. Like it goes to show. Like I tell people, it's like they're just like, oh, I feel like it's too late to go to school. I'm like, no, it's not. I'm like, there was people in my school who were like in their late 50s or like early 40s who were just like, I finally have time to go to school. So like I'm like, yeah, it's all about like when it's your time. It's like you don't have to graduate at 22 or anything. You don't have to go to college either. That's not the only route that you have to take. There's also vocational schools, or maybe who knows? There's maybe there you have another job apprenticeship lined up for you or something like that.
Right.
Because one of my cousins, I mean, he didn't go to college, but like he's learning all about like HVACs and like construction. I'm like, that's a valuable skill set to have.
Damn. Yeah. Then, would you? Yeah, I guess what I'm realizing with this podcast is that a lot of people they're proud of what they're like disappointed them in the past. I guess it's weird.
Yeah,
It's
I actually used to be
development.
Yeah, I actually used to be really ashamed of it and like bringing it up and talking to people. But now at the point, I'm just like, you know what? Yeah, I dropped out. It was my fault.
Yeah.
Nobody else's fault. Like before, I actually used to blame like other things that it wasn't my fault, and it was just because like I guess it was like my ego. I guess because growing up, school was super easy for me. Like I never really had a challenge. And I think that was another problem, I guess, with going to schools because like I found it so easy that I knew that I could just coast through anything, like no problem at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if my parents like, not that they didn't have any like interest in my schoolwork, but if they like during the time, I feel like they didn't have the financial backing to send me to a school that would actually give me a challenge.
Mm.
And so they actually did that with my sister. She went to private school, but it was definitely not for her, basically.
Yeah. So, I guess, what would you say? Wait, I'm just spacing out right now. It's okay. We could cut this part.
It's all good. It's all good. I mean, But I guess to go back, so I guess one thing that I'm really, really proud of,
Yeah.
is obviously just like my achievements and myself, and also I'm very proud of my photography.
Hi.
I used to be like, again, also be a little bit ashamed because I'd be like, I feel like people are going to judge me for taking pictures of toys and everything. But I'm like, you know what? It's like, no, it's like, that's my work. It's like, I'm proud of it. I'm always going to flaunt it. I'm like, I'm sure maybe one day if I want to, could be like, get a job of like product photography or something like that.
Yeah.
But till then, I'm like, it's just a hobby for me now. It's what's keeping me happy, gives me something to look forward to. And like, I also like collecting. So it's good.
Yeah. It's like a passion project.
Yeah, I mean, I guess also, I'm very proud of my brother, like all he's achieved and everything. Because, I mean, it's hard. I mean, I know, I wouldn't say my parents put any doubt in us, not that they didn't want to support us, but they just want something for us to fall back on, so that we're just like not like starving in the streets or anything like that.
Yeah, but I mean, Rich doesn't have that. I mean, not to talk too much about Rich, right? I'm sure he'll come on the pod one day, but Rich has a lot more freedom with his his art, right?
Yeah, he definitely does. And again, I don't want to say that's partly because of me, but it is partly because of me.
You had to take that
I had to take that L in life at that time.
not even the L, like you just had to be the first one to like I forgot what the saying is. It's like you had to take it full charge. Like you had to take the charge so that like he could oop it.
Yeah, I basically like took it upon myself to give him the opportunity to fully like make himself successful in this like career path, basically.
I just think that's common with like any older sibling. I don't, obviously you don't have siblings, but from what I've
He'll
seen,
deny it, but
I'm sure he will. Yeah. But we all went to Tokyo together.
oh yeah, that was a fun trip.
So I guess like where did your love for like anime, comics, cartoons, like where did that come from first? And then we'll get into like the anime for real.
I feel like my love for animation stemmed from even, I guess, when I was young. My parents would be working, like they would work like 2-3 jobs every day, and like I guess TV was like not my babysitter, but like it's what I would like be in front of, so my parents would know I'd be okay.
Especially like you said, being a bubble boy, like
yeah, it's like there was nothing much else I could do. I couldn't like my cousins that lived with us during that time, they couldn't really play it as much with me. Because if anything happened to me, my mom would get mad, and she wouldn't blame me. And like I felt bad because I was like, it's my fault, mom. Mm-hmm. But like she would blame everybody else, be like, you're not supposed to do this with him, blah blah blah. But it's just like I don't know. It's just I felt weird during the time because I'm just like I'm not that weak, It's like,
yeah.
And I think that's where like I guess I took a very huge liking and like a love for like superhero cartoons because I guess Batman was my first favorite superhero, and like. I remember every time I had to use a breathing machine, I would be terrified. Like, I didn't want to do it. And my parents and my doctor would be like, well, it's like, think of it as a mask. Like, you'll be Batman if you wear the mask. And I'm just like, all right.
Yeah.
You have a point. I'll do it.
Like how Bane sounds? Or my dad has one of these. It's like a H-pack. Is that what it's called?
The CPAC machine?
The CPAC, yeah. Was it like that? Or
it was kind of like that. It was like a tube that I would have to like insert into my mouth, and like it would just flow, like regulate the airflow to me and my lungs, basically. And I would have to use that every day. And if I didn't use it, there'd be trouble. And like it was just I would cry and I would hate it because I would hate putting that tube. It was like a long tube that I had to like make sure like regulate the airflow. Yeah.
But damn, I mean, I think that's how I found my love for cartoons as well. Like being an only child. Yeah, I didn't really, and being an only child and being an immigrant, not having any friends over here in America, I think made me like fall in love with cartoons, obviously. So like you said, it was kind of like the TV raised you in a weird way. Especially like the 90s shows that we grew up with. But you just mentioned Batman. I wanted to ask you how you felt about like being that it's Halloween. Tim Burton is like a very big influence around this time, I feel like.
Oh yeah, I feel like that was my first Batman movie that I ever saw. Obviously, they weren't age appropriate for me at the time, but like my parents didn't care.
He did the one with the penguin, right?
Yeah, he did the one. That was the second one actually. The first one he did was with Jack Nicholson as the Joker, which I didn't know at the time. I thought the penguin one was the only one that was ever out.
Right.
It wasn't until later on I was like a little bit older I found out like no, there's another one, and that's a sequel.
That one was crazy though. How did you like it? Or?
I did like it. Yeah, it was to me it was like a pretty good movie.
Some people don't like the old Batman movies.
No, you gotta appreciate it for its time. When you gotta think about it, because that was the first time that I guess we got the first modern version of Batman. Because before that, Batman was very campy and like
the pow boom.
Yeah, the pow boom, all Adam West and like cartoony, all of that. It wasn't until Tim Burton came along and along with like other artists that they kind of gave it like a gothic feel and everything. And those movies as well actually heavily influenced the 90s Batman animated series actually.
Crazy. And that's yeah, it still influences the Batmans now. I mean, the last Batman that just came out was pretty dark.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much like what I guess like influenced like future like iterations of Batman basically, because before that it was just a very campy, like fun, family friendly show basically. It wasn't like the dark brooding thing that we have today.
I wanted to ask you about Gotham Knights. Have you heard? Are you planning on getting it? Or
I probably will buy it. I don't know if I'll buy it at launch. Maybe I'll get it on Black Friday because I've seen reviews and I'm just like, damn, I was so excited for this game.
I keep hearing bad reviews, right?
Yeah,
there's a lot of bugs. Something about like
bugs, just the
gameplay
and everything, and it really sucks because like the Arkham Batman games were some of the best games ever, and I feel like now when you focus on like the rest of the Bat family, that's what I wanted to achieve.
Yeah, I was looking forward to it when after I seen Titans, because then I started getting into like the Robins and Nightwings, and then what's Red Hood's name?
Red Hood?
Yeah, his real name. Tim Drake?
No, Tim Drake is the third Robin. That's you're thinking about Jason Todd.
Jason Todd, yeah. So then I feel like right around when I seen I want to say the third season of Titans.
Yeah.
Is that the newest one?
Yeah, that's the latest one. The fourth season is coming out pretty soon.
Yes.
I'm surprised you watched Titan. Not a lot of people I know actually watch it. I try to put everyone on it because like, I want to keep
I loved
seeing
it.
more.
It was fire. And then yeah, around that time is when I saw the trailer for Gotham Knights, and I was like, damn, you're gonna be able to be everybody. And then yeah, I'm still looking forward to it. I'll probably try it, but hopefully it doesn't suck. Batman games are crazy though, like Asylum or
Arkham Asylum.
Arkham Asylum.
Arkham Asylum's good. Arkham's video was great.
Mm-hmm.
Arkham Knight was also really good. I like them all. I'm just a fan. As long as it's good gameplay and like good story, it's all good.
So how do you feel about Titans? You liked it?
I do like Titans. Yeah, the first I was like, I remember I got before I moved to HBO Max. It used to be on DC Universe, and that's where like I actually subscribed to it because one, I'm a huge DC fan. Like I like Marvel stuff, but like I much rather prefer DC.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy. A lot of people would pick Marvel, but I guess they've been dropping the ball lately.
It's not even that. It's just this is what I guess grew up watching more and like liked a lot more. I mean, they have great characters. It's just unfortunate that hasn't been able to translate into live action movies recently. But if you watch all their animated movies, like can't even be beat. Marvel can't even compare. That's how good it is. But for Titans, I did like it a lot. I like the journey that they had for Dick Grayson from being Robin all the way into finally embracing his Nightwing identity. Mm-hmm. That was really cool. I guess it kind of also I was kind of hoping it would be kind of like the Teen Titans cartoon series when they were fighting Slade.
Me too. That's what I really wanted it to be like that. And Beast Boy only transforms into like two things right now.
Yeah, I mean, when you have like a TV show budget like that, there's only so much that you can do. Unfortunately,
I want him to be the dinosaur. Like
I want a dinosaur, like a bunch of different stuff. But it's like, damn, it's like going to do so much, and like I hope they get a bigger budget, but again, it's not.
And they haven't linked with Cyborg yet, right?
No,
Cyborg's still in.
Cyborg's on Doom Patrol. I don't know if you've seen Doom Patrol.
I have a little bit, only like a few episodes.
No, it gets really good. I loved all seasons of Doom Patrol. Really good show. I remember it was one of the first shows that brought Brendan Fraser back, so I'm so happy about because he deserves everything. I'm a huge Brendan Fraser fan, like always.
Damn. So, how do you think they'll mix them, or like, do you think it won't happen until a few more seasons in?
It might happen. I know that's how they got Beast Boy basically, like from the first season. I don't know if you remember.
From Doom Patrol. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know if now they're trying to like stay away and separate from each other, but I hope they do like a crossover in the future.
That'd be sick.
I mean, it'd also be pretty cool. I don't know if you watched Stargirl. It's also.
Is that about Starfire, or that's just a whole separate?
It's about her hero named Stargirl. She wears like a kind of like blue with like stars, like America costume kind of thing.
HBO Max.
Yeah, it's an HBO Max. I think it airs in the CW, but like it was first on, like on the DC app first. But it's pretty cool because they incorporate a lot of previous heroes from the past, like from called the Justice Society of America.
Crazy.
So it's just like the team that was before the Justice League, basically, like the old school, the golden age of heroes, basically.
I'm gonna definitely check it out.
Yeah, it's really good. Like I feel like a lot of people don't know there's different iterations of like superheroes. You have the golden age, then you have the silver age, now you have the bronze, and bronze is called the modern age now. So.
But yeah, I'm gonna check that out. Are you looking forward to Black Adam?
I don't have the highest hopes for it. I'll still watch it because when I like Dr. Fate, he's one of my favorite DC characters.
Did mention that in Divergence.
Yeah, and I feel like Pierce Brosnan cast as Dr. Fate was perfect, and I hope they do him justice. But I'll still watch Black Adam because I also think Black Adam's also a great character, and I hope they like tie it in because he's actually a bad guy of Shazam.
Yeah.
So that'd be pretty interesting to see. And I also heard that Henry Cavill is coming back as Superman.
Crazy. I've never seen The Rock play a bad guy, so that's gonna be interesting.
No, it's great. It's great. It's even crazier because this was something that was fan casted back when I was in high school. So like 15 years ago, people were asking for The Rock to be Black Adam. I'm just like, I mean, it fits. He looks just like him. So
yeah, for sure. Dr. Fate looks sick too. Man, I also heard on your podcast that you've been doing Halloween movies every day.
Yeah, it's a challenge. It's a challenge October. I did. Yeah, for all of October. I call it. I mean, I'm sure I'm not the first one to call it Spooktober, but
nice. What is there a movie that sticks out to you that was the scariest so far?
I haven't really dived too much into scaries though. Because like I know I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. Like for people like, it's not that I'm afraid of scary movies. It's just that I know if I watch it, my imagination is gonna get the best of me, and I'm just gonna like go wild with it.
Spiral.
Yeah, I'm gonna spiral out of control. So I'm just like, I'm gonna prevent that from happening.
So you're trying to keep it like PG-13?
No, I've like explored more. Like I guess.
Have you gotten into the Insidious? Like
not yet.
Okay.
I'll get to that eventually. I know my girlfriend wants to watch it, and then I'll probably watch it. I'll probably have to watch it during the day, so I have time to like recover. But like for me, it's like movies about possession and like supernatural stuff. Yeah. To me, that's scary because I'm just like, there's a possibility it could happen. Like where it's more like it's like when you're fighting like slasher films or anything like that. I'm just like, that's something physical. That's something real that I can hit and like take down. Where if it's supernatural, I'm just like, there. Best of luck. You gotta pray for that.
Have you seen Jason X?
Jason X, is that the one where they're in space?
Yeah.
Yeah. I did see that because I'm just like, oh my god, that's ridiculous.
That shit's crazy.
It's crazy, but
he always finds a body somehow.
Yeah. But actually, I did finish watching all the Scream movies.
Nice.
And they were all. I love them all. Actually, probably one of my favorites. Like slasher films of all time. Scream 5 was actually really good. I recommend everyone check that out. I also saw House on Haunted Hill. It's an old school movie with Vincent Price. It's on Amazon Prime as well.
Is it where the bodies are in the walls?
No.
Oh.
It's different. It's not like, it's kind of more like, it's a very classic movie, and like I guess it kind of like scares you more with like how it's shot and everything and the effects. Like there's a couple times that I got like a jump scare and I was like, oh shit. So it's a good movie overall to enjoy too, because Vincent Price is good in anything he's in. And then another movie, I saw like a bunch of other obscure movies like Cursed. It has like Christina Ricci and Jesse Eisenberg.
Damn, I never seen that. But
I never even heard of it until I saw it one day. And I'm gonna watch this.
I seen all the Final Destinations. Those are pretty fucked up.
Those are messed up. Like there's a lot of stuff that I don't do because of that movie. Like I don't drive behind trucks that have logs in it.
It's like that show 1,000 Ways to Die.
Yeah,
I can't believe they like air that shit. It's like, it sucks because to a certain point you can manifest anything. Like the more you think about shit, the more like you're inviting it into your life. So I understand why you wouldn't like to see like possession movies and stuff. But it's funny, I actually spoke about this before. I want to say the second Final Destination, because that's the one where they're on the highway, right?
Yeah.
My parents actually forced me to watch that.
Really?
Like they didn't let me close my eyes. Like, they're like, you're too old. You need to open your eyes and like.
Oh man,
watch it.
It's funny you bring that up, because the whole reason I feel like I'm also afraid of scary movies is that growing up, there was obviously a language barrier to my parents between the media they would consume.
True.
And so the only person that could ever translate for them was me. So here I am, like from 4 years old to like, I don't know how old, for the rest of my life, we would all watch scary movies, and they would be asking me, like, what are they saying? What's happening? And I'm just like traumatized of watching this shit happening to
and
me.
having to explain it.
And having to explain what's happening. So it's like, yeah, so obviously there's like, I guess, some trauma in there, but like there's not much else I could do. So I watched it, like, you know. Also, I guess I just remember too another scary experience that I had. Because one of my older cousins used to live with us, and he bought like this Chucky doll, but I don't know what
I was so scared you were gonna say Ouija board.
No, I don't know what the actual name of the doll is in the movie.
I know it's like Child's Play is the actual movie name, but
yeah, but it's something whatever the Chucky doll was, but before he had like the scars and everything, and like he had like the mean look. It was just a regular doll. I was terrified of that thing, and to the point where my mom told my cousins, like, you gotta hide that in the closet, because like he's just not gonna stop like being afraid. And he put it in the closet. He put it on top of some stuff and everything, and I forgot it was there one day. So
no.
My mom asked me to look for stuff in the closet. I'm looking for something, and like I'm shuffling stuff around, and the doll falls on top of me. And I'm like trying to shake it off myself, and I'm like, oh my god, oh my god. And the thing was, like, I guess part of it got snagged onto like the overalls I was wearing, so it looked like it was having its arms grabbed around me. And I'm like trying to fight it off for my life. I don't think I've ever screamed for help so loud before in my life. That like I threw myself out of the closet and was just like wriggling around trying to get this doll off of me.
It got stuck to you?
It got stuck to me, and I was so scared. Like I'm pretty sure I could have died of fright that day.
Dude, yeah. Or like if you fell down the stairs or something. Like
yeah, thankfully it was on the first floor, but oh my god, I have never felt terror like that again ever in my life. Like, can you imagine that?
Yeah, I used to be so scared of Chucky too. It was like one of the first, like after Final Destination, I never really tried to watch anything horror, and then Chucky always fucked me up because I couldn't understand how a doll could move like that. Like I didn't understand graphics and stuff like that, and I was like, all right, I understand why like Jason and Freddy, like those are humans in that costume, but how do they make the Chucky move? And then yeah, I used to be scared as fuck. I couldn't finish Seed of Chucky. My friends tried watching it with me, and I was like, nope. Like,
which one is Seed of Chucky? Is that the one with the?
It's when he has a kid.
Oh, I actually like that one because it has like Red Man and Method Man in it.
It's funny, but
yeah,
it takes a while. It's still kind of scary. I love scary movies now. It's amazing to me what people could come up with. Like, as fucked up as it is, it's like someone thought of all this shit, and I know behind the scenes they're probably just having a good time.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I don't know, have you seen the trailer for that? What's it called? Megan?
No, is it new?
It's new. I guess it's like another version, like a concept of Chucky. Like it's funny because like they're having like Twitter exchanges, talking shit to each other.
It's a doll.
Yeah, it's like a robotic doll that's supposed to be a friend for a little girl that doesn't have any friends, and like I guess its job is to protect this girl, but it takes that job to the point where like it starts like just killing people basically.
I'll be down to like watch it. I just seen Hellraiser though, and that shit was fucked up.
I haven't seen.
You've never seen any of them?
No, like I also avoid movies of possession because of one. Like after we saw what's it called, The Exorcist. One of my cousins pretended to be possessed, and that fucking terrified me too. I was just like, oh fuck. I was just like, oh hell no.
I don't know if Hellraiser would be considered a possession movie, only because there's a cube and it brings back like demons, but the demons just try to make deals with you.
I've actually never seen any of the Hellraiser movies, so I'm like, it's like it's a whole.
But you know who Pinhead is?
Yeah, I know who he is.
He
I just
super scary.
Never seen the movie. I don't know. I guess there's like this new. I guess I don't know what to call the character, but this new bad guy where like people are like fainting and like throwing up watching his movie.
What movie?
I don't know, some dude with like he's like a clown looking dude. Damn. I think you did a piece on him recently.
Oh, Art the Clown.
Is that what it's called?
Is he like He's like black and white.
Yeah.
My God, that's so funny. I watched that movie with Rich, and there's a scene in the old one. I don't know if they dropped a new one, but he literally saws a girl in half from her to like the top of her head.
That's crazy.
It's like they show everything. It's weird, but I don't know how we could like transition from this scary ass topic, but it is Halloween, right?
It's Halloween, but like, if you want more lighthearted stuff, I do actually have a YouTube video for like 90s Halloween animated specials.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This has been out?
It's been out, yeah. It's like one of my popular videos if you want to check that out. If you want to see like animated like Halloween specials, there's a lot of good ones. A bunch of them are still available on streaming platforms. Some of them are free. Some of them you need a subscription service.
Mm-hmm. So you can find anything on Google. Like if you Google hard enough, I feel like I've always managed to find like the free stuff to everything.
Yeah.
I actually was able to watch Digimon Try that way. Well, no, Digimon Try is on YouTube. There's a couple. Because I was trying to figure this out. Is there multiple Digimon Try?
Yeah, there's the first season, and after that, they came up with a bunch of different movies that came afterwards.
I was watching one recently.
Yeah, they break those movies into like 5 or 6 episodes, I think.
Yeah, for the people that don't know, I'm a big... Well, I spoke about it on Muhammad's episode, but I'm a big Digimon fan. And then me and Kevin, we've bonded over Digimon multiple times.
Yeah, and as you can see.
He actually put me on to the Digimon Adventures, the newest one. And we were talking about how... Yeah, just like... Was it War Greymon? Is just so much bigger.
Yeah, definitely much bigger than the previous year. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I still go on YouTube and watch that, like, evolution, because it's fucking crazy.
It's crazy.
Like, whoever did that voice acting for that part, I'm like, my God, give him an award. I'm just like, damn.
But there was a period of time where you were like, I feel like you were pretty active on YouTube, and then you took a break.
I took a long. It's been like years.
Yeah. What do you think what caused that break? I guess.
I guess what caused that break is just working full time actually, and it was hard. And then like my laptop died, so I didn't have any equipment to like keep putting out videos. And then the only computer we had was my brother's computer, but he was using it all the time for his artwork, so it was pretty hard just to share it. And so I had to take a break basically.
What do you think got you back into making videos and making content? I mean, now you're like 4 episodes in on Divergence.
Yeah, 4 episodes in. 5th episode comes out this Wednesday. And what really got me back in, I actually talk about in my first episode of the Diversions podcast, was going to C2E2 and going to some of these panels. And I'm like hearing these dudes talk, and I'm just thinking like, I can do a much better job than this. Like, I know I can do a better job. It's like, actually, and I told myself, you know what? I have done a better job. I was like, I have my YouTube videos up. Like, I have pretty good views in it, because I'm just like, I never thought I would get that many views.
Yeah.
I think like the highest one I have is like 115K or something like that, which is like, it's crazy to me. I'm like, damn, I have that many people watching my shit.
It's crazy because you didn't even care about the views, right? You were just doing it because you wanted to.
Yeah, I was just doing it because I wanted to, and like I wanted to share like my opinions and like thoughts on a bunch of different like cartoons, animation topics, basically. And yeah, and I guess after watching those panels, I'm just like, you know what? I think it's time for me to make a comeback, and I started the podcast. And lately, I've been working on like part 2 of my Power Rangers videos, because like that's the one I get the most comments on for people asking for part 2.
Nice. Yeah, so you gotta give people what they want sometimes. But if you could just let the people know a little bit about the history of Divergence and like where that name came from.
Actually, yeah, the name Diversions came from this arcade that my brother and I used to go to. It was actually not that far here from the studio. It's like there used to be a movie theater on Devon and McCormick. For all my people who used to grow up in this area, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Back in those days, there used to be an arcade like not directly next to the movie theater, but like maybe like a couple plazas over. It's an arcade called Diversions, and that's basically like, you know, where my brother and I would spend most of our time at, like before we went to the movies. And it's also like where I discovered like video games like Marvel vs. Capcom, and like just fighting games in general is where I like started playing more and more.
But since then, the place got torn down, right?
Yeah, the place closed down early, which sucks. I'm just like, damn, like where am I going to hang out now, basically? And the theater that we used to go to actually bought a bunch of the games that were there, so like we would still go to the theater and play arcade games there. But then that theater closed down, so I was like, damn.
And now you could provide the same feeling that you got as a kid to all your listeners.
Yeah, that's what I try to do.
Yeah, I like that.
Like, I guess like my dream or my goal in life, and I guess the only reason I'm working a 9 to 5 and like all this stuff is so I can like have a game room like slash museum basically, and like in my house basically. Like I want to have a museum dedicated to like all history of Nintendo, like Sega, and like I have all these like arcade cabinets, a bunch of stuff like that. Because like I'm huge on collecting physical media and like preserving it, making sure like, you know, it carries on to the future. Because like who knows what's gonna happen? Like I know a lot of people want like digital stuff, but like it's not the same thing for me. Digital for me, I don't know if you did you have any like gaming systems growing up?
PlayStation 1, Wii, but Wii came later. What do you consider growing up, like when you're like 10?
Yeah, PlayStation 1 definitely counts. Like
PlayStation 1 for sure.
Yeah,
Spyro was a hit.
Like, do you remember like when you bought a game, you got like the disc, and then like the case that came in, and then like inside you had like all the pamphlets, and they gave you like the story and like a bunch of other back stuff. So that's a lot of stuff that I miss, especially for Nintendo 64 games. I like the box work, I like how it was packaged, and like all this stuff. So
everything's all digital now.
Everything is all digital now, and like I feel like that's something I want to keep going back to. It's like keeping like
memorabilia.
Yeah. Nice. Memorabilia, and like eventually I really hope like eventually come back to it, because I know with the Switch games now it kind of does that, because they have like the little cartridges, but I just wish they would include like little pamphlets or booklets about like the game and like characters and stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember I used to have Paper Mario, and I bought like one of those books that tells you how to pass it.
The game guides.
Yeah. But that game was fire. I think that was for the Wii as well. It's crazy, just like gaming in general and the whole industry and how it is now. I know they just had like a championship at the United Center Like,
Yeah, it was for League of Legends. It was crazy. Like, it sold out. My brother was there along with my cousins.
mm-hmm.
It's like a 2-day event.
Same spot that the Bulls play in, you know, like it's a real sport.
Yeah.
Like,
And I feel like it is definitely growing, so we'll see
mm-hmm.
where it goes.
And there's so much money to be made. For the people that don't know, you're also on Twitch. That's where I feel like you were pushing Twitch for a while.
I was pushing Twitch for a while. I was just like, I guess, again, it was during the pandemic. And
Yeah.
I didn't have much to do. I needed to like keep myself sane. So I would just stream myself opening Pokemon card packs.
Mm-hmm.
And now eventually I do want to start streaming games here and there. I just need to upgrade my equipment because now that I have a new computer, the capture card that I had before is not compatible. So I have to like switch that up.
It's all about like the setup. I feel like setting up is the hardest part. And then once you got everything, then you could just continuously make content.
Yeah. Like for me, it's not, I mean, I like to make content, but I want to go at my pace to the point because I don't want it to feel like a chore making content, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to feel excited about what I'm making every day. And I think that's one thing I enjoy about the podcast that I'm making now. It's like I'm excited to do it all the time. I think the only hard thing is thinking of topics. But like I think that's why like I'm mostly on Twitter, like researching stuff. Or I think about like what do I want to talk about? Or what should we talk about, basically?
Yeah, from what I learned, like podcasting is like you become a journalist. You have to look for like current topics and like try to keep it relevant to your listener. But I think a lot of people like hearing about you as well and like your personal experiences. I mean, this whole podcast is about just my personal experiences and being proud of myself. I wanted to talk to you about Japan. We didn't even talk about Japan.
For real. That was a trip, though. That was a trip.
Yeah. Like, I remember specifically we went to go see the Gundam statue, and then we were able to see the same building that was in Digimon.
Yeah. That was like one of my goals. I was like, I need to see these sites that I see from anime.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know,
in person.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I just can't wait to go back. I see all these celebrities going back, and like the borders finally opened up, I think like a week ago.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I think the only regret I guess I have is that I didn't get to go to the soccer stadium that's on the rooftops.
Yeah, you got to go back for sure.
Yeah, because the one day we were able to go, it was a typhoon, so we had to leave.
We came like right before there was one of like the biggest storms. And,
yeah.
Like, it would have been dangerous if we were out in the streets like around that time.
I think that's
so
what
it was like perfect timing. Everything just lined up so easily, and like there's just so much to do. It's like so much bigger than Chicago, I feel like.
It is. It's much bigger than Chicago, and what I was really impressed by it is just how easily accessible everything is. Mm-hmm. Like we didn't even need a car. Walking distance, train. It was just so easy to get anywhere.
So user friendly. But
it was very user friendly. I don't know. Do you have any highlights that you have from that trip?
Man, so much. Well, one thing I was gonna say that I regret is that I didn't get to try the sushi. Whatever. I know they don't have as much sushi as there is here. Well, they don't consider like dragon rolls and all that real sushi, right? But it's like nigari.
It's like sashimi and nigiri like type sushi over there.
Like I didn't get to try that, so that's one of my biggest regrets. But the food there was amazing. All the 7-Eleven trips, the katsu and like.
Is that all you ate, or did you have anything else besides 7-Eleven stuff?
The ramen was fire. There was a really good burger spot.
That was good.
Yeah. But one of my
I mentioned that burger spot too.
Yeah, my favorite point. All the shopping that we did, but the temples I think was very like you felt like closer to God when you walked into those. Like it was a temple, right?
Yeah, it was a temple. Yeah, the Asakusa temple.
Yeah, those were really nice.
It was a huge charm. It was actually really nice to see. And like you had people dressed in like the old traditional kimonos and everything.
The shopping for sure. I got to see a lot of these stores and how like just imagine having like a pop up there one day. I will have a pop up there one day and have like exclusive
goals.
Lunch. Yeah, for sure.
I definitely remember seeing you chase down this one dude, and I thought he did something to you.
Yes, that's so funny because Vic always brings that up every time he sees me. He's always like telling me that he thought I was gonna fight this one dude. So I had packed my bag with a whole bunch of Pods gear, and Effectus gear at the time too. I think I was still trying to push Effectus because this was 2019.
Yeah.
And then this guy at the vape store was really nice to me, and he kept showing me, like, I don't know, just, like, really great customer service. And I was like, all right, I'm going to pick certain people that, like, stick out to me, and I'm going to give them some gear. And I was in the vape store, so I didn't want to like give him something of mine like in his store. I don't know if he'd get in trouble or whatever. So I was like, fuck it. But I always kept something on me. And then we were walking outside, and I see him again. So like I run over to him, and I'm like, oh,
this man sprinted with a mission. I was
obviously,
like, oh. Yeah. I was ready. I was like, what's going on?
I don't know. I alarmed my friends, but I don't know any Japanese, but he understood. I can't remember if he spoke English, but I just gave him the gift. He like bowed and like, and then Vic thought that I was gonna fight him. But yeah, I was looking for certain people to just give them like some gear, and it's cool. I was able to take some pictures of some girls in bucket hats, and like they really enjoyed the pig. They thought it was really cute, and yeah, I can't wait to go back.
Did you specifically give stuff out, or did you like leave stuff out in certain locations and like ask them to tag you, or?
No, I specifically gave it out. I mean, maybe towards the end I might have like left some stuff, some like prints for sure, or like some like little miscellaneous stuff like stickers and stuff. But for the most part, I don't like just leaving my clothes out in the street. I think like I made it a thing to try to like talk to them or like make sure that they knew it was a gift, because a lot of them were like confused and I couldn't really speak. But I was using Google Translate a lot. For the people that don't know, you should get Google Translate.
It did help us out a lot.
Yeah, especially with like reading too.
Yeah.
To get the gist of what these letters meant.
Yeah, I remember in order to prepare myself, I read like a whole travel book on like customs and like phrases to say while we were over there.
Mm-hmm.
So that definitely helped out a lot. Just because you watch a lot of anime, it doesn't mean you're going to understand the shit they're saying. So there's no subtitles over there.
Yeah, one thing that stuck out to me is that we kept saying, "Oh, they got the like a girl with," but like. You know what I'm saying, like a Japanese girl, and so they probably looked at us like weird, like when we should really be saying like how the men say it over there, like "Arigato," like way deeper voice and like
for real, "Arigato, ohayo gozaimasu."
Yeah, but I kept saying it like a schoolgirl or something. But I can't wait to go back and like redeem myself. Nah, the trip itself, I can't say I regretted anything. Mario Kart though, I wish we would have been able to do that.
I wish we would have been able to do it too. It was crazy.
I don't know what the issue was. Was it like we just didn't have the time, or
I guess they like double booked or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And so like they took the other people who were there, I guess, which kind of sucked. Because I was really looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we were supposed to go drive down Rainbow Bridge, and I was like, hell yeah, but it sucks.
Do you know if it's still going on, or they canceled it because of COVID?
I think they canceled it because of COVID, and also because Nintendo came pretty hard on them.
Oh,
but I mean, like maybe now they still do it, and just call like kart tours or something like that. I hope they still do it. It'd be pretty cool.
Man, I know if I go back, I want to take Lucas to. Not if I go back. When I go back, I want to take Lucas to Nintendo Land.
Oh yeah,
that shit looks amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited. I want to go back. Really excited to go back. What were some things that I like? Obviously, the food was really good. Ramen's really good. I besides eating 7-Eleven, I think Jazz and I probably ate the most like street vendor food.
Yeah.
Because I would just see signs and be like, you know what, that looks good. Let me try it.
I was just very conscious of my money too, because like that shit could have gone quick if we didn't. I spent a lot of money out there.
Yeah, I definitely spent a lot of money, but I was saving most of my money for the end trip when I was going to the
Pokemon Center.
Pokemon Center. I mean, I got some stuff for free there just because I told them it was my birthday.
Nice.
So that was pretty cool. But I bought some stuff there. I didn't spend too much because I still wanted to go to the Akihabara stores. Mm-hmm. And like I remember I was telling you guys, I was like, there's a store I buy stuff from online that gets shipped over from here. And I was like, I want to check that out. And I guess the day we finally went there, I actually found a Metal Garurumon. But I'm just like, this is like $200 back home. I'm like, it's $70 here.
Yeah. And then all the Digivices too.
Yeah. It was crazy. I mean, I definitely want to go back and like have a little bit more spending money.
Mm-hmm. It'll happen. Maybe 2023.
Yeah. I mean, I still have $20 or 2,000 yen basically.
Nice. Gotta spend it for sure. You brought up soccer though. Let's let the people know what you have going on in the soccer realm. You're also you're the captain of.
Right now it's called Asen FC, but probably gonna change the name to Kaiju FC just because I'm a big Godzilla fan and just giant monsters.
No, yeah, I love that idea.
And Tokatsu culture, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Also, to Pablo's grandma, I'm a professional player.
Yeah, my grandma confused him for a professional soccer player.
Which I was very flattered, but I was like, no, I'm not, unfortunately.
No, yeah, I was able to check out one of your games, and I guess, like, what do you think? Well, from what I heard from Big Cat, you guys didn't have that good of a season.
It wasn't that good of a season. It was really hard to get everyone to come, like on game days and everything. It was funny because like everybody would come to practice, but on like game days it was just very hard. And I think it's just because it was on a week. I thought it would be easier for everyone to come on a weekend, like on a Sunday. But it turns out not a lot of people want to do anything on Sunday. Basically, like they just want to chill and like. Some people are fucking recovering from like.
So sometimes you guys didn't have enough players.
Sometimes we didn't have enough players, and sometimes just like our starting players didn't show up, so we had to play in other people who we would just use like as a quick sub or something like that.
Right.
But like lesson learned. And, like it wasn't a terrible season. I mean, we still like made the playoffs, but we just didn't advance.
Okay. For next season, you know what to improve on, and I'm looking forward to helping you make that uniform for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, pretty excited because I know you'll do a great job, and like we definitely have a supplier who will definitely like imprint that design to whatever.
Yeah, you guys are gonna have the hardest uniform out there, so you can't lose.
Definitely can't. So
it's gonna bring good luck.
That's the other thing. Like I made some cuts to the team, and like.
No, don't think like that because you got to give people opportunities.
No, I mean, but the thing is, like, I made some cuts to the team, and I'm just like, you know what? I'll like not. It's not that you're bad, and then anything. It was just like, I need a more competitive level, basically.
Okay, yeah, as long as like they're trying their best, I feel like let's agree that because like if people are half-assing it out there, you don't need that.
Yeah, basically, and it's just like it's like you only come here like for a couple games here and there, and it's like one, I feel bad because like you're paying money to be here, and if you're paying money to be here, I need you to be here 100% of the time.
Yeah, that makes sense. Anybody can relate to that if you're working with someone. Yeah, and they're just like half-assing.
It's really good, but I still want to host a pickup game for you guys. So
yeah, I'm ready. I've been playing with Lucas, and I don't know. I'm pretty good, to be honest, but it's in my blood. Colombia. No, he's been doing basketball lately, and he has basketball every Saturday. So it's been cool seeing him transition. Like sometimes he tries to kick the ball, and it's like, no, this isn't soccer. He's always trying to do like karate kicks or like, I don't know. It's funny, but
it's crazy because Taekwondo actually did help me in soccer, like.
With soccer, right? Yeah.
Yeah, like how to kick and just like being more flexible and stuff like that.
No, yeah, Lucas is really good at soccer. He's always like one of the kids that makes the goals. But yeah, I got to get him used to basketball. I want him to practice with his left, and yeah, I'll say that for another podcast for sure. But
do you like block his shots when he tries to shoot? You come down hard, be like.
No, I just want him to keep trying because he can't reach the rim yet. So he just has to keep, I don't know, bending his knees and like trying to shoot right.
Do you tell him he has to yell Kobe every time he shoots?
Maybe that'll help. Yeah, I'm gonna tell him the legend of Kobe for sure. But yeah, I want to say thank you for coming on here.
No problem. Thank you for having me. I mean, it's always a blast, you know.
Yeah, hopefully we can make it like reoccurring. I would love to come on Divergence as well.
Oh hell yeah!
I'm not inviting myself.
No, I mean, go ahead. I mean, I'm happy. I told myself I was like, I at least want to do 10 episodes, and then maybe I'll start having guests.
Yeah, definitely.
Because that way our audience can know the host a little bit better and stuff like that. But
yeah, shout out your co-host really quick.
Oh yeah, my co-host Bumbling Bee. So
shout out Brian.
Brian, my best friend,
fellow Colombian.
Yeah, also fellow Colombian. He's half Colombian, half Irish, so he's cool.
Colombian in my eyes. No, yeah, yeah. I would love to have him on here as well with you, and yeah, let's just follow Geek Night 90.
Yeah, Geek Night 90 on Instagram, Twitter, also YouTube. You'll see me. I have like a little blue knight. You'll definitely recognize it. Check out my videos. Pretty soon I have part 2 for Power Rangers.
Hell yeah!
I know people are excited for that one. I'm excited for that one because I'm not going to use as much like footage from the show anymore, and I'm going to incorporate my own photography to like tell the story, I guess. But we'll see how it comes out.
Nice. Looking forward to that. All right, guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching.
Later, guys.
Have a great day.
Baby, I don't sin, not a saint though. Stay for a while cause I can't go. Can't get lost if I ain't left. But right away I'm leaving when the day comes. Please don't call if I can't talk. And I talk about it daily like it's not hard. You only hit me back if I swing first. And lately I've been hitting up the ballpark.